What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Zatch Bell. Now this is one I was not expecting whatsoever when it got announced, but I do remember loving this show as a kid, so this is just a taste of nostalgia for me. Let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with that sexy packaging. Now, when it comes to the packaging, you don't have a whole lot of colors going on. You got some whites, some maroons, and then, of course, you got the colors from the figure as well. It does say Gash Bell right there. You got Tamashii Nature's quality sticker right there, SH Figuarts. This figure does look really good. It looks like it came straight out of the anime. That's one thing I can say. Nothing much going on the top, nothing much going on at the bottom. You got an image, and that's about it. On the side, you got his name. On this side, you got a full image of our little happy boy right here. And then, of course, on the back, you've got the figure as well as some of the accessories. So let's go ahead and bust this guy out, because this is one I'm pretty excited to talk about just because it's something new. Now, straight out of the packaging, we do have one of our tiniest, most adorable SH Figuarts to date, and it is Gash or Zatch. I think they changed it to Zatch in the English dub. I really don't remember, but most people probably don't remember much about Zatch Bell anyway. I'm sure most people are just like me, and you just kind of remember this being a part of your childhood, but not exactly being able to connect the dots with everything that was going on. Now, that being said, I did do a little bit of research just so I'll kind of know what I'm talking about, even though a lot of what I researched I won't even be discussing in this review. I just like to know what I'm talking about, and this figure looks like it comes straight out of the anime. You've got those big, large, adorable eyes. You've got his signature smile, the blonde hair that was very simple in design. He's got his, I guess this is like a dress almost. That's what it looks like to me. Then, of course, you got the ribbons on there with the big button in the center that is gold. The arms are pretty plain, not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot of sculpting, but this show was designed very, very simple. It was a simply drawn anime. There wasn't a whole lot of detail to anything. There wasn't really a whole lot of grittiness. It was just a straightforward drawn anime, and I think that this figure actually translates very well, because once again, it looks like it popped right out of the series, and I enjoy things like that. I love simple designs. Back in the day, a lot of animes were good with just simple artwork. It worked so well, and I'm glad for those type of things, because now, of course, things have changed with a lot of newer anime, but stuff like this I will always appreciate. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at this figure so I can show you guys a bit more of the details, even though it's not too much to cover. So taking a closer look at this figure, I feel like this is exactly what it is supposed to be. Most of this figure is molded in the color it's supposed to be. The hair is molded in a yellow. The skin tone, for the most part, is molded as well. I'm pretty sure this collar piece is molded, and then the shoes. The only thing I think on this figure that's not molded, probably the faceplates. I'm pretty sure those were painted. That's the reason I'm guessing that, is because I'm not sure if you guys can tell on camera, but if you look at the arms and then you look at the faces, the arms do have a tad bit of shine to them, while the faceplate is a tad bit more matte. Actually, the faceplate is completely matte, and then there's just a bit of shine to the arms. It's not extremely noticeable, but it is there. So it doesn't really match, but I mean, you have to really be looking in order to even notice that. It's just something that I wanted to throw out there. Now, I do wish that this figure had a tad bit of shading just to make it pop a little bit more, at least along the skirt piece. I feel like it would have been cool if they added a bit of black wash in between the wrinkles here. Maybe a bit of yellow shading in the hair, like some golds. It's hard to say because there's not a whole lot of shading in the series either. So I don't know. I just think more paint can definitely make a figure look a little bit better, but it's not really hurting it. It's just giving it more of a simple design. Either way, like I said, not much to discuss when it comes to this guy. Paintwork is very clean. I don't see any lines or paint bleeding anywhere as of right now, so I think it's good. But anyway, let's go ahead and put this guy back so we can see how tall he stands or how small he stands, because he's very tiny. Now for the height of this guy, as you can see, he doesn't even touch 3.5 inches. So He is a very, very small figure, and it makes sense. He was very small in the anime, which made him adorable. But of course, we will be doing some size comparisons later, so I can show you guys how he fits in scale with other figures. Moving on to the articulation, it's not a whole lot to cover, but it's enough. He looks up only about that much because the hair touches the back of the neck, so there's really not much you can do about that. And I know if anyone's asking why doesn't he have a neck, that's just the way he was designed. So this is accurate to the anime. He looks down a little bit. You can get the chin to touch the chest, but that's about as far as it's going to get. You do get a little bit of tilt and other movement, so I think that's good. The arms do go up and out about that much, and they do pop off for a specific reason, so I'm not blaming them for that. But it does pop back on. As you can see, he looks very well. Now, moving the arms forward, unfortunately, you're not going to get much. And this guy definitely is popping apart. I wasn't expecting that part to come off. Let's see if I can pop that back on there. It doesn't click, but it does go back on there. Anyway, in terms of moving the arms forward, this is about as much as you can get. So while it looks like there is a butterfly joint in there, I don't really, it's not coming out. So I don't think it's effective. I think they just kind of put those slits right there just because it's something they pretty much do with all their figures. But anyway, he does have a bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow, so it can only bend about that much, but you still can move his hands behind his head if you want to get him in those adorable Gash poses. That's not a problem at all. His hand, wow, that just happened again. I think that's a QC issue on mine, so maybe you guys won't have that. But his hands are on a very tiny peg that is sturdy. That's one thing that makes me happy. You can move it around very, very well. He does have a diaphragm joint where you can swivel him around, so he leans back about that much. That's going to help a little bit with those looking up poses, not so much down just because this skirt piece does kind of come out. Now lifting it up, whoa, was not expecting that. All right, he can do the splits. Wow, he can do the splits about that much. I don't want to show what's under there. He can kick forward, as you guys can see. The skirt piece is a bit of a hard plastic, but you can get him in those walking poses just fine. He does have a, that just threw me off completely. I think I said this. He can do the splits about that much. He does have a swivel. The knees are on a singular bend, but they bend about that much. I'm trying to hide that because I don't want YouTube on me or anything, but it does work. The foot, this I believe is on a double ball peg actually, because you get a swivel right here, and as you can see, that moves around quite well, so that's interesting. I don't know what's going on there, and my bad, I just hit the camera. I don't know what's happening here. I'm pretty sure it's a double ball peg though, but the foot goes up about that much, down about that much. Really good ankle rocker, much better than I was expecting. And then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation wise, for as small as this figure is, it works. Everything functions as it's supposed to for an SH Figuarts, so I have no complaints. Now when it comes to accessories, I feel like Tamashii Nations once again went all out, giving this figure everything that it needed. First off, you get 5 faceplates in total, and I'm so happy that they are including more faceplates than usual. You do get his smiling face, you get his angry attacking face, you get his adorable crying, I just want to pick him up and hug him face, you get his angry determined face, and then of course you get his ee-ah face. And if you know, you know. Some people got that one, some people won't. You get an alternate hairpiece, and I love this. It's more wavy. It's more basically him in attack mode. I love that. There's a lot more sculpting going on to it. I do think it could have benefited from a little bit of shading once again, but that's fine. You do get this piece to pull out the back so you can plug a stand in him if you want to. You do get the Vulcan 300, which was given to him by his best friend Kyo. I'm so happy they threw that in, even though he doesn't really come with a hand for holding it. That's strange. I just realized that now. But either way, he comes with a pair of fist hands, a pair of like wide open palm hands, and then his comedic running hands that go with this face right here. So tons and tons of accessories for this guy. I do wish he would have came with a pair of holding hands because I don't know how he's going to hold that. But still, I'm going to mess with it and see if I can figure out. And actually, I was wrong. He did come with a hand for holding it. As you guys can see, he comes with a fist that has a tiny hole in there. And the reason I couldn't find this is because it fell on my carpet. Yeah, these hands are tiny. I had to check the packaging in order to see that this came with it. But yes, he comes with it. And in order to get him to hold it, you just kind of wiggle that in there. Make sure you're careful with this because you don't want that leg to break off. But there it is. He does hold it and it's not going anywhere. So snug fit and great. Now I'm happy. That makes me feel so much better because I was like, how's he going to hold this? Now moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to a couple of Jujutsu Kaisen figures. We have the SH Figuarts Yuta Okotsu, and then we have the Figma Yuji Itadori. And as you guys can see, he doesn't even come to the waistline of Figma Yuji. We all know that Figmas run much smaller than any other 6-inch line, and that just goes to show how tiny this guy is. But it is completely accurate. Next up, here he is standing next to two other yellow boys. We have him standing next to the Figma Zenitsu from Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba. And of course, the SH Figuarts Naruto Uzumaki. Just to get in some other lines, here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. The head sculpt is from the Marvel Legends House of M Spider-Man. So it's not the Renew Your Vows head sculpt for my Marvel Legends fans that may be watching. And then, of course, he's also standing next to the Mafex Symbiote Spider-Man or Spider-Man Black Suit, whichever you want to call it. Now, when it comes to collectibles like this, they are literally as straightforward as it gets. Not a whole lot to be excited about, but a lot of fun to have if you're okay with messing around with figures this size that are somewhat limited in articulation. But for this guy, I have to say, it doesn't feel very limited. It feels like you can do everything you need to do. And for the most part, all of the poses that he got in the series, based on what I went back and rewatched, you can do with this figure. The skirt piece doesn't limit it that much. Literally, the only limitations you have are probably with the back of the collar. But thankfully, there's so much articulation in the diaphragm, you can somewhat get past that. You can get this guy in the Naruto running poses and things like that and really make it look like he's going for battle. So that makes me happy. I wanted to do a size comparison between him, Kid Goku, and Kid Gohan. I don't know where my Kid Goku is. I don't know if I even still have Kid Gohan, the Saiyan era. I think I do, but I don't know. Since I moved to my new apartment, there's just a lot of things that I haven't gotten out. But if I do find those figures, I will post a size comparison probably on Instagram or something like that. I spent like 20 minutes looking for them instead of finishing this review. But yeah, overall, I really do love this figure. I think the real joy is going to come when you get Kyo in hand and you can pose the two of them together. That's when you can really have a lot of fun. But I am the type of person who will probably use this figure, take a bunch of silly shots, and then who knows, at some point maybe I'll take some action shots as well, but he's still going to look good on my shelf. I don't have any issues with this figure. I would say if there was one thing I would change, I wish that they added maybe some electrical effects for his fighting techniques, but that's about it. That would probably be sacrificed due to all the expressions we've gotten, and I'm much happier having all the expressions because I can buy some effect pieces and use those. So I'm happy with this. Overall, it's a good solid piece, not very expensive. I got it for roughly 30, 35 bucks, something like that. So I'm happy, and I hope that you guys are. Now, that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, as that always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content and when I go live on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you're following me, if I can talk, following me on everything listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.